So today is the first day of February. I did finish tweaking my synopsis, but I want to sit on it for a night before I share it with you guys. I just wanted to say that I uploaded my writing vlog for January a couple days ago, and I was not expecting all of the wonderful, supportive feedback. I did it mostly for myself. Writing videos have always been my favorite type of videos to upload on my channel, even though they don't get a lot of views. But I love uploading my writing videos because I love sharing something that I'm very passionate about with you guys. I love watching writing videos as well. So if you guys do any type of writing videos, or you guys know anybody that does, please let me know, because I'd love to check them out. I didn't do my synopsis yet, and I'm not doing it tonight either. I ended up starting to write a new one. Like, why is there so much going into a synopsis? Because I've never fully explored the synopsis before. So that's why it's a little bit more difficult for me right now. Rainbow-thon starts in a couple days, and I know I'm very dedicated to reading during that week. Right now, what I'm actually doing is I'm transferring my Word doc to Scrivener, and I'm going to be dividing them up into chapters on Scrivener so I have an overall better idea of the timeline and how everything's pacing. I actually got this idea from Marissa Meyer. She has this like 9-post blog post of writing and her process, and as I was reading it, I did notice some things that were similar that I do. Also, there were some things I wanted to incorporate in my own writing process. One of those things being transferring it over to Scrivener after you finish, the first draft. And I know I'm on my second draft, which is far from being complete. I've always liked writing in Word. It's quick. I'm able to see my word count and kind of keep track. The longer the document becomes, the harder it is to go back, and that's one of the things that I used to struggle with, was wanting to go back and reread things, so that prevented me from doing that. Scrivener is still not my favorite program, but I'm slowly learning it. So it's about a week since I've done an update, and that's because it was Rainbow-thon the past week, which is a readathon I co-host, if you didn't know, with the Wolf Pack. I just finished my third book, and I'm not planning on picking up another blue book, so I decided to get back into editing. I finally sucked it up, and I decided to watch some Scrivener tutorials. I still am 60% with this software program. Still very partial to Word. I love Word. What I did was I transferred my second draft onto Scrivener, and I divided them up by chapters. As much as I love Word, it's one big long document, and I wanted to split them up by chapters. As you can see, I split them up all by chapters. What I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be writing down all the places and all the character names, just so that I'm making sure everything is making sense in my head, and all these places I am trying to just kind of throw around. I'm going to try to ground them a little bit more. I'm also, because world building is my weakest, and even though of course I can't draw, but I think I'm going to try and draw a rough map just so that I can visually see where my characters are going, because my novel is a road trip journey story, of course, because that's what I like, so when I write one of those. Another thing I'm doing now that I divided them up into chapters, I'm going to be, of course, rereading it again, and I'm going to be writing down synopsises of each of the chapters, just to make sure that the storyline is making sense. I did a lot of things today. I plotted the first, I would probably say 20 to 25% of book 2, which is really exciting, and I'm very pumped. I even had an idea last night where I had to get my notebook, and it was in my purse. I had to get up because I was ready to go to sleep, and I had to get up, and I had to grab it, and I had to write it down because there's a good chance I would have forgotten it. Really excited to get into writing again, because as much as I'm still, in this mindset, this world, I'm not writing anything new. I want to get back into Freya, who is my main character and who's Red Riding Hood. I just want to get back into her head, and I want to get back into her story. I'm going to read you guys my synopsis, and I know I must have said earlier that I was rearranging it. I haven't finished that, so I'm just going to read you guys what my first synopsis was. I want to give you guys a little bit of what my story's about, because I've only ever been saying for the past years that it's just a continuation of the Red Riding Hood story, and I haven't really gone into it more than that. Yeah, so I'm excited. Instead of me just reading it and you watching me, I'm gonna be showing you guys my board for Pinterest while I read the synopsis, so you can get the feel of the story and seeing the pictures that I have put together for my story. Freya Hawthorne is little no longer. 10 years after her near-death experience with the wolf, Freya is a feared wolf hunter that refuses to be tricked like she was when she was younger. Trained by the huntsman that saved her and her grandmother's life, Freya travels around the kingdom with the huntsman's son Basil, her best friend, and sometimes more. The pair are hired by villages who find themselves with wolf problems that need taken care of. That is until Freya decides to take a job on her own that connects with her beloved grandmother who passed away. Everything about the job goes wrong, with the village up in flames, and Freya, the sole survivor, is blamed for the massacre and becomes what she always feared, the kingdom's villain. On the run with Basil to clear her name, the king offers her a deal. Find his abducted, most trusted witch, and he'll pardon her on all charges brought against her. Left with no choice for her disgraced reputation, Freya accepts. The more Freya unravels the mystery of the witch's abduction, the more she realizes the king's task has much to do with her past as it does her future. So that is the synopsis for the book with no name yet. I hope you guys liked it. It's still a rough synopsis. So I've been kind of reading the past few days, which I need to rein that in and get back to writing, because I haven't really touched book 1 in about a week, which I don't like, obviously. The other thing is I'm still plotting book 2. Really excited for book 2 because I actually, when I was writing, I love when you're like brainstorming and you're just writing things down and you just like get more ideas and like it kind of just like spirals, like this leads to this, leads to this. And that's like kind of what happened the other day when I was brainstorming, outlining, and I came up with possible villain for book 3, which is insane to be thinking about that, but I really like that, so that's going to be really interesting in developing that character to become the villain in the 3rd book. The thing I'm struggling with right now with outlining is how book 2 should end, what they're striving for. I like to have an idea before I start writing. Even though I have 30% of book 2 outlined, I don't know what the end game is, and I don't want to start writing it because once I get to that 30% of writing the first draft of book 2, then I'll be stuck, and I hate being stuck. It like totally kills my mood. So I want to at least have an overall idea. Right now what I'm doing is I am going through Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. This is what I have. This is just the $8 Barnes & Noble edition. You can get it there. Right now I'm kind of brainstorming for different character ideas for book 2. I already have my main villains and they are from Grimm's stories. I'm just kind of glancing through different titles right now, and if the title is appealing to me, then I will read the story. Most of them aren't very long, so it gets really easy to get through. I do have one character from a fairy tale that's going to be in book 2, and it's not from Grimm's. When I was going through some of the classic tales, I'm kind of thinking of different people that my crew can run into. And I was going to do Rumpelstiltskin, I was going to bring him in there, but he's such an iconic character on Once Upon a Time that I don't want to touch that. So I'm trying to find another character like him from Grimm's stories, so that'll be probably hard. But it's a challenging and a good challenge because I want to find those lesser known fairy tales, because as of right now, I guess this isn't absolute a spoiler, I am incorporating obviously Red Riding Hood. Hansel and Gretel is going to be in book 2. Cinderella's kind of in it, but it's kind of a blink and you'll miss it kind of reference in mine. And then the non-Grimm's fairy tale, which is Jack and the Beanstalk, he's going to be in book 2 as well. So I'm just trying to come up with more ideas and more inspiration. So this is my last update for February, and I don't know what were my goals for February. I did do my synopsis, so I can check that off the list. I still haven't come up with the name for my book yet. Like, why is this so complicated? My NaNoWriMo project for 2015 had its title before I even wrote the first word. And this science fiction idea that I haven't really explored yet has ideas already for what I would name that, but this one is so difficult. I just cannot find the right type of title that accurately expresses what I'm trying to convey. With that being said, my goals for March are going to be drawing a map. I'm going to be showing that on my vlog and kind of see how that is. Disclaimer now, I am not an artist. I never will be one. I wish I could draw. I want to finish another read through within the first week of March, and that's when I'm going through Scrivener and writing synopsises of each chapter so I know that everything is starting to make sense. I had an idea the other day that I needed to add a chapter in one of the other characters' perspectives, because the more I'm thinking about something that happens, it needs to have a lot more emotional impact behind it, and I don't think that's well represented right now in the draft I have. I think I want to at least start the first few chapters of book 2, just because it's bursting out of me from what I've written for the outline so far, but I haven't written it yet. But I just want to have another run through of the first book, so I'm solidified in the world and I know it's taking more shape and everything. That's it for my February vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know down below what you guys have accomplished. If you guys are writers, what you've accomplished this month. See you guys all at the end of March.